Welcome everyone. The weekend fixtures are upon us. There's a match that we need to do a preview on, and a whole heap of Chelsea news that we want to get through as well. So let's do this.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go through some Chelsea news. We're going to bring back the Chelsea News Blitz segment. That was obviously something that we did prior to the transfer window. So this is back. It's all about Chelsea news now that the transfer window is shut. So we'll go through some news first, and then obviously we'll preview the match against West Ham, which is once again a crunching match for us. First up, ladies and gentlemen, breaking. Sources told The Athletic that the club plan to revisit the Edson Alvarez deal in January. I mean, I'm interested to know why all of a sudden now we're looking to get midfielders. I mean, I absolutely endorse it. I want us to get more midfielders because I understand where our issues are in terms of Kante being injury prone, final year as well. Jorginho as well, not always a complete match in midfield, especially when he doesn't have Kovacic and Kante around. Kovacic as well, injury prone. So I understand, but I was just a bit shocked that Chelsea weren't in for any midfielders, and then all of a sudden we want midfielders. We've got ourselves Dennis Zakaria, but seems like we are interested to get Edson Alvarez, and in January we might be going in for him. And look, for me, if as I said, during the transfer window, I've not watched Edson Alvarez, so I can't make a complete judgment. But from what I hear from fans like you guys on social media, is that he's far more technical. He's far more suited to how we want to play from deep and what we expect from a defensive midfielder. So look, I've got no issues for us to go back for this particular player, and if we can get him for a lot cheaper than what it might have been on deadline day, then that's perfect. But all of a sudden, we need midfielders. What does it say about Kante? What does it say about Jorginho's future? We'll see. Ajax are open to a winter transfer of Alvarez to Chelsea. This is from Mike Verwee. Hope I've pronounced it right. He's the one who's been breaking all that news in regards to Edson Alvarez. Chelsea and Ajax may hold talks in the coming days. Let's see, man. Let's see what happens. Want to definitely keep a close eye on as the situation develops, and maybe something that is going to happen quite quickly when the January window opens. And this is the thing. We still have a few things to take care of. Like, I know we've done a lot of business. I know we've got rid of a lot of players. We've brought in a lot of players, but I think there's still room for improvement. Chelsea indicated to AC Milan they were ready to pay 80 million for Rafa Leao. This is probably a player. It's going to be a huge one for next summer. As I said, it was highly unrealistic when we started talking about Rafa Leao in the transfer window that just finished, because it was too late in the piece. And he's one of the most main players, if not the most main player for AC Milan. That kind of transfer happens early and happens for a longer stretch of period. It's a saga, it's a story. So I'm not going to be surprised one bit if we go back for Rafael Leao next summer transfer window, and which will allow AC Milan to find a proper replacement as well. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a long, drawn-out situation, but looks like we are very keen on Rafael Leao. If we're willing to put in 80 million, I'm pretty sure we're going to go back in again, which is exciting times for us down the track. Marcus Alonso's goodbye message. Look, I'm not going to go through all of this, what he said over here, besides the fact right at the end, yours forever, running down the left wing for you. M, love, see you soon. A lot of the people on social media are very, very emotional about this message. And I find it a bit strange. I have to be honest. People that have slandered Marcus Alonso now finding it very emotional. I don't know whether to take it seriously or whether they're just taking the mick. My perspective is, I thank him for his services. Have I been annoyed and frustrated at him? Of course. You can't lie as well that you've been annoyed and frustrated at times as well. There's been absolute brilliance from him, and there's been absolute ugliness as well. So look, all up, wish him all the best at Barcelona. We needed him gone. We needed to upgrade, and we've done very well with Cucurella upgrading on that side. So kudos to Marcus Alonso for moving on. And as I said, hope he does well over there. But I'm not going to sit here and be emotional because at the end of the day, as I said, thank you for his services, but I also remember the ugly moments as well. Okay, Jorginho's inability to function without N'Golo Kante in the midst of a fierce press did not go unnoticed by the ownership against Leeds. This is from Simon Johnson and Liam Toomey. I mean, look, first of all, of course it wouldn't get unnoticed, not just for the owners, but every fan saw how we got mauled, how we got bullied by Leeds. But these journalists, now that the transfer window is over, now they're going to be after players. They're going to be writing all these juicy stuff. Some parts of this particular news could be true. Could be true that the owners might see it that way. Us fans, we know what we saw, and there is some truth behind this particular information. Look, what does this mean? What does this mean? I don't want to give Jorginho the pass here. At the end of the day, Jorginho's inability to function without N'Golo Kante, that's probably saying a lot more about Jorginho, I suppose, as opposed to not having the right support for him. I think down the track, as we've always mentioned, I love Jorginho. I love what he brings to the team, and I completely understand his skill set. But there's distinct flaws. There's distinct flaws, and this is something that we need to upgrade down the track. We need to find our scouting network's got to get better. We need to find players that can do Jorginho's role to a certain degree and have that physical ability, have that robust nature, pace, power, which is very important. I don't want to see Jorginho, one of our players, getting dragged around by the opposition, getting bullied, getting pushed around. I don't want to see that. So look, there is a case here that, down the track, or maybe even in January, because Jorginho is in his final contract, so final year of his contract. So what does it mean? Do we give him a contract extension and then look to offload him in the summer window? Or do we try and get rid of him in January? And he's always had the feeling to go to Italy. So once again, another very, very interesting saga that's going to be coming up. But yeah, it is true. When there is no Kante, when there is no Kovacic, all the other players, they are incapable of playing alongside Jorginho, and our midfield looks exposed. Bowley and Clearlake concluded a more hands-on approach would be required in order to enact the new direction. Key to the decision was the Lukaku mess. Marina and Cech were understood to be opposed to letting Lukaku go on loan. Look, they need to be hands-on. They have to fully be hands-on still until we get that director of football, which doesn't seem like it's going to happen today, tomorrow, or day after. It's going to take a bit of time, process to find the right candidate. These people need to be involved, hands-on. We can't just let it go now. Now that the transfer window is over, that these guys can just move away and be away from the football club. And I don't think they will. I think they're very, very serious owners, and they want to be able to drive the football club to the right direction, that new direction as they're speaking about here. So look, I'm actually very, very impressed and very happy about the way the new owners have moved in this transfer window, and now post-transfer window as well, what they're planning to do, which is great to see. Todd Bowley and Clearlake have been conducting a review of every department of the club. A sporting director will not be the only hire within the coming days and weeks. I love to hear this, because we need proper scouts. We need excellent scouts. So I'm very, very keen. What other areas are they looking for? Not just the sporting director, but everywhere. Scouts, HR, the lot. Let's look at the entire situation. Brilliant. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's now look into the Chelsea versus West Ham preview. I just watched the press conference for Thomas Tuchel. Do you know what? I think we've always said this. Thomas Tuchel is such a well-spoken person. In the press conference for that West Ham game, everything he handled brilliantly. The message that I took out from that press conference was that Now the transfer window is over, and his clear message to the playing group and to the players that probably look to leave and now part of the squad because they couldn't get themselves a move is that it's time to focus now. It's time to focus. Window shut. This is where you're going to be in Chelsea Football Club until the January window opens. Let's give it 150%. No more excuses, no more dramas. Let's get on with the task ahead. And I loved that Thomas Tuchel said that. And a lot of the journalists were asking, what did you say post that match against Southampton? Did you speak to the players and this, that, the other? And Thomas Tuchel said, no, I wanted to wait. I wanted to buy some time and wait for this situation where the window is closed and then sit down and let the players know and start influencing them in training, in matches. So look, I'm hoping we start seeing better performances. I'm hoping that the players are clear in their mind that this is where your home is. Players like Pulisic, players like Hakim Ziyech. It's time. All these players and also the new players and the other existing players. I hope everyone gets a buy-in and understands what Thomas Tuchel wants. So let's hope from here on in that our performance gets a lot better. Press conference updates. Work permit needed for Zakaria. Tuchel hopes he's there for Tuesday, so he's not going to be there for the West Ham game. So hoping to see that he's in some capacity for the Champions League game. Aubameyang needs a mask. They'll try him in training for next week. So this week he won't be around. They're going to try and prepare a mask and then see how he goes in training. Most likely he's going to miss out on at least 2 to 3 weeks. Reece James and Ruben Loftus-Cheek are back. Reece James is a massive one for us. His absentee is detrimental. But it's mad how a right back, he's generally a right back. He's a full back. Obviously now converted into a wing back, and his attacking prowess is excellent. It's amazing how important he has become over the last season or a bit, couple of seasons. He is our creative hub. He is someone who we rely on scoring, and from a defensive standpoint as well, he's very important. He's probably one of the most important players at Chelsea Football Club, and when he's not around, our team does not look the same. So this is a great thing, but at the same time, it's an issue because we don't have an adequate backup for Reece James. Every time, touch wood, he gets injured. I hope he doesn't get injured anymore. We don't have an adequate backup, and this is something that we probably need to address in the coming transfer windows, that we need to have decent enough quality when James is not around to ensure that our club can move forward. It's mad, and other players have to step up. It shouldn't just be on Reece James. Sterling is doing his level best from an attacking standpoint, but other attackers need to do their job too. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is back, which is great. Fofana was an early target identified for the CB position. If he was an early target, why wasn't he, pursued from the get-go? But it is what it is. We've got Fofana. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the predicted lineup, my predicted lineup, West Ham, a little bit about them. I watched their recent match against Spurs. First half, they weren't probably in that match that much. They're a very good team. Fornals, Said Benrahma, Bowen, of Declan Rice. For me, he didn't do much against Spurs, but I know his quality. He always shows up against Chelsea. So can't wait for Chelsea fans to be cheering him on in this particular match. Some, not all, some. Look, he's still nonetheless a very quality player. In defense, they've got Emerson. He's going to have something to say as well, playing against us. Defensively, they're very strong. Souček as well. They've got the physicality. They've got that robust nature with Antonio up front. They're going to be difficult. Second half against Spurs, they probably deserve to win that game. They really did. They were pushing hard and they create a lot of chaos. They play direct football. None of these, let's try and build up tiki-taka football. No, mostly direct, and then they work on second balls. They want to play the football on our half, on the opposition half. And their biggest, I suppose, game plan, from what I can see, and it's effective as well, is go direct, try and get the ball into the opposition half, and then really hone in with a lot of players for the second ball and try and create a lot of chaos in the opposition box, and then see if they can find an opportunity. And then obviously set pieces are a huge play for them, get headers, so on and so forth. look, they're going to be a tricky opposition for us. I'm not going to lie. They will be very, very difficult to handle. We better be up for it physically. If we're not up for it physically, they're going to dominate us. They're going to be all over us like a rash, and they will simply outpower us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the lineup that we are going to go with. This is my lineup. That's that I want to go with. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Some of them could be controversial. Some of them I feel it's required, but let's see what you guys have to say. In goalkeeping position, Mendy continues. If I have the caps out. Okay. In LCB, we're going to go with Koulibaly. Continues on. In the middle, we're going to go with Silva. And for me, Wesley Fofana has to start. I don't see any reason why Fofana cannot start. He's played for Leicester already this season. Yes, last couple of games he was off, but that doesn't mean that his fitness level shouldn't be up. He's been training already with the team. I don't see any reason why he can't start. We need points. We need our best players to start playing. We spent quite a lot of money on Fofana. He needs to play for me. In the middle, look, there are no other options. We've let go of Billy Gilmore. We've let go of Ampadu. Conor Gallagher is back, but I'm a bit weary about this situation. So Jorginho obviously will play, and right now we don't really have a proper replacement for Jorginho down the track. Maybe we'll see if Dennis Zakaria gets an opportunity in that area. Obviously, for this particular match, Dennis Zakaria cannot play. Work permit issues. Kovacic, I'm hoping he can finally start now. He has been able to start the last couple of games. He's been coming off the bench, but I'm hoping now, after the third match now, that he can possibly start for us. We need him to start. I can't have Conor Gallagher, I can't have Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I need Kovacic to play. I'm hoping he's fit. I know this is a bit of a risky situation, but points are needed, and I need these two midfielders, experienced midfielders, to start playing. In the left wing-back position, Cucurella. In the right wing-back, it's going to be Reece James. For me, very important we have these two brothers playing on each of the wing side, two of our best players. In the middle, I'm going with two up front, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to go with a central attacking midfielder, or a number 10, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go with Pulisic. Some of you guys could even opt for Havertz, but I'm not going for Havertz because of his form. I feel like he needs to be dropped and benched and get a reality check. We cannot just harbor these sort of situations where poor performances are getting overlooked. It shouldn't be overlooked. Up front, Sterling on the left side. This doesn't mean necessarily they stick together. They could be wide, or we could have a situation where Pulisic could pull to the right side. So don't look at this formation that this is set in stone and this is where this is just from the get-go. But obviously all of these players will be moving parts, really. And Armando Broja. From what I've seen so far from Armando Broja, the little minutes that he's been getting off the bench, it's been very impressive. So I want to give him the opportunity. No point in just keeping him in the bench and just, rotting him there. Let's start giving him proper opportunities. Let him start showing that aggression. He's shown a lot more than Havertz and Mount as well. So look, Mount needs to be dropped. He's not been good enough for me. Havertz not been good enough for me. And both of these players need a kick up the backside. Mount and Havertz, they looked pretty good in the first 25 minutes against Southampton, and not just them too. It was a lot of our players that were looking very good. But in this match, I want those players to be benched. I want this lineup. That's my lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Mendy, Koulibaly, Fofana, Jorginho, Kovacic, Cucurella, Pulisic, Reece James, Sterling, Broja. Some of you may say Pulisic wasn't that good either. I get it, but it's time we need to start integrating them in properly. Transfer window's over, so we have to believe in them. Players like Ziyech as well could possibly feature. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm expecting a win. I know our form hasn't been good, but I'm expecting a win. I'm going with possibly 1-0, 2-1 situation. Hopefully we can keep a clean sheet. Very important. We've been leaking too many goals. Ladies and gentlemen, you let me know. That's my team. That's my prediction. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you have. I want to hear from you guys on everything that we've talked about. Edson Alvarez, Rafael Leao, and the West Ham. How you feel moving into this game and your score prediction. Till next time. See ya.